If you'd like to see more of our videos, hit the subscribe button to stay on top of the market news. Good morning, traders. Welcome to today's market review. This is Razak at CMtrading. Today is July 22nd, 2020. And today is Wednesday morning. So looking at the highlights of the day, it doesn't get boring in the markets. Okay, gold, the euro, the Aussie dollar, the CAD breaking out to all-time new yearly highs. That's a very important event. But first, let's take a look at the general markets. So there's no major economic events scheduled for today, but after the close this evening, okay, around 11 p.m. South African time, we do have Microsoft coming out with quarterly earnings, which is very important. But starting out with the Forex symbols, we're going to first start out with that. The euro, the Aussie dollar, and the Canadian dollar all look and break higher versus the USD. We spoke about this yesterday. It did look like it was breaking out. Now looking at the indices, we're pretty much treading on light volume right before the big earnings, including Intel tomorrow and CSX Railroads, which is another major company that's coming out with earnings as well. Now looking at the commodities, gold, okay, breaking out to new yearly highs, while oil breaks above that $41 as well. Lastly, looking at the stocks, so the rotation continues, okay, while the Fang Stocks and Microsoft kind of treaded lightly yesterday, JP Morgan broke out on the upside. So let's take a look at the markets and see what we can expect from today's trading. So taking a look here at the euro USD, unbelievable move, okay, and this is classic technical trading, nothing rocket scientist stuff here. Very, very simple. We breached our 1420-ish level last week, okay, and we breached it again, and then we used it as a support level right there, okay, didn't breach below it, and that was your cue to jump into it on the upside. And even if you just traded the new range, okay, like I mentioned before, and then it broke above it and never really receding below the moving average, it did break up to 1530. Now this is a high for the year, okay, so let's take a look at that. Let's look at a daily chart, and we did break that 1470 high where we had right before or during the pandemic, okay, and then had that correctional move. So this is really a rubber band kind of move where we move lower and then, you know, the stretch comes higher and the rubber band effect takes effect and we break out higher. So this is really wonderful that this is happening because the markets are getting stronger. This is actually a good sign. All right, now looking at the Gbp USD, it's not breaking out again, right? So I'm imagining that it will break out at a certain point. Okay, so really I want to keep an eye on this, all right, to see if it does break out further, okay, into yearly highs. Now it is at a resistance-ish level, okay, a multi-time frame resistance-ish level at this 127.5. So if it does break above this, okay, I do imagine that it will get back to this 129, 130-ish level. Now looking at the Aussie dollar, this is really important, and I highlighted this yesterday, okay, this is why this is so important. Okay, it did look like it breached above it, and I told everybody to keep an eye on it, and sure enough, that's exactly what happened. Look at that, from going from 70.40 up to 71.47. That's a 100 pip move in a day. That's great volatility. That's what we're looking for. Now jumping into the Canadian dollar, okay, also getting stronger versus the USD here as it broke this 134.80-ish level. Okay, now looking at a daily chart, it's close to our June level when we receded on the dollar, okay, and just at the beginning of the month. So this is really very important as this is happening as oil gets stronger. Canadian dollar is also getting stronger. Now the third currency I want to discuss is our near and dear South African rand, which looks like it's breaking that 1644 this morning, okay. As it's breaching it, I would look actually for it to make a further correction, okay. Now this correction could come further. Let's look at a daily back again, all right, to give us a perspective. We could get back to the 1550-ish level if this does continue to breach with some momentum. Okay, so something to keep in mind for today. Now, jumping into the commodities, gold is the one. Now, we spoke about this several times, okay? We said that gold's going to go to 2,000 by the end of the year. Just getting closer. We're at 1860 right now, which means that we're 140 points away from our target, okay? Now, this is really flirting with historical highs, okay? 1900, 1915 is really the historical high. And we're only about 55, 60 points away from that. So consider this being a major breakout, and this may propel us even higher, okay, because this is happening with actual candles, not just the wicks, but the candlestick, as you can see here as it's breaking out. Now jumping into oil, all right, jumping above $41 a share yesterday to 42, which was a nice little spike yesterday. As it's correcting itself, it does look like it's getting stronger. Now moving to the US markets, okay, the Dow Jones yesterday just treaded, okay, at 26,765-ish right now, but treaded to 26,900 and then receded. Now this is all because everybody's expecting this major earnings from these major companies, okay, including Microsoft, which has led the way higher in the Nasdaq. Okay, so we do want to see that continue, okay, and we do want to see that the profits are still coming in, which could really still sustain itself, because remember, these type of companies like Microsoft are a little bit averse to what's going on with this pandemic. Now looking at the Nasdaq as well, we traded to our highs yesterday to 11,050 and then receded, okay? But this is normal because the markets want to see what's going to come out with these earnings to give us that confirmation to take it higher. Now looking at the Fang Stocks, okay, we're going to first look at Apple. It's just below its highs, okay? Kind of challenging that 398-ish level and then giving it up. If we look at Microsoft also, it's now trading in a range of $208, right between our 215 and 200-ish levels. So for me, it's really just trading at par right now in terms of any anticipational move that could happen later today. Now jumping into JP Morgan, which is something of a old school kind of stock, which is more reflects the economy. It perked up yesterday, okay? It started buying. Now that's a good sign, all right? When the banks are showing some profits, remember, just a week ago, JP Morgan Chase, which is a major bank, one of the largest banks in the States, is actually showing some profits and beating their earnings respect. So, you know, so the anticipation that it's going to go higher, perhaps, okay, but we still have to see it actually break above this $100 and sustain itself above this $100 to get to this 104, okay? So a lot hanging on the balance of what's going to come out with these earning reports, which is really very important. So you do want to know when it's coming out, and which is later today, okay, after the close, 11 p.m. South African time, okay? So just I expect the markets to be choppy today, okay, the U.S. markets, okay? So that's something to consider in going into today's trading session. This is Fred Razak. I want to wish you guys a great trading day. Thank you.